Just getting my keyboard plugged in. Board games, it's what I'm talking about. Board games, I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing, and I am going to talk about several things, and as always I will not shout. I will talk briefly about what I did yesterday. There was not much done, so I don't really have much to say. I'll maybe talk about design and marketing and logistics and how I think the three are the thirds of making a game and come together to make a totality. Games, it's what I'm talking about. Games, I'm not gonna shout. So yeah, hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you are, and I hope you're having a good one. This is another episode of Bezzy Beats and Briefer Blether. It is episode whatever it is. I'm trying to keep these briefer with a 30 minutes. I'm definitely going to be done before then. Maybe it might just be 5 minutes if that's all that there is to talk about. I don't really have much of a central topic, and it's not like I did many game-related things yesterday. So all I'm going to talk about is, something that I've been thinking a lot about recently and chatting to Jason about, which is that I believe that there are 3 parts to making a game. Now, the first part is the sexy part, and that's the design and development. The second part is the logistics and production and fulfillment, and then the third part is the marketing. And I have come to believe that these 3 parts need to be given equal weight, approximately, and equal emphasis in order for games to do well. But of course, let's start off, as always, with recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights. Recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights. Yesterday I didn't really do anything much. I had someone come over to look at my room. I'm thinking about moving out. It's something that might happen. It had to happen within a year or so because I'm moving to Thailand, but possibly it might happen a wee bit earlier. There's a possibility of me moving to a single person apartment. And I know a friend who would fit in here well and is also looking for a place, so that would work out well for my housemates anyway. So had them over, had a bit of a chat. That was that. I looked up root rules, I've not, and had a wee skim. I'm really excited. Today is going to be, whilst it was a bit sad that, I'm not at BerlinCon, which is boo, that's a bummer. And actually the one, I think yesterday, it's weird, it was kind of a day off, but I kind of felt guilty about not working, so it wasn't really a day off. That's not a good place to be, Bez. I mean, what are you doing? Just take a proper day off, or at least, give yourself, okay, after 12 o'clock I'm not doing any work. And that's one nice thing about social obligations. Like today I'm going out to the Haringey Salisbury pub and I'm playing an all-day gaming thing from 12:30 until 9, possibly 10. We're playing Root. I'm excited about that. We might play Root a second time, I don't know. I'm taking some lighter games because there are some newbies. I'm taking Guy Magician, I'm taking Kawaii, Wavelength and Just One, and a couple of my own games. So yeah, getting out and actually doing a social thing, that means that for a moment it's not like I'm tempted to kind of just be thinking, oh, why am I not working? In this instance, yeah, just having blocks where I do not work and I cannot work is a really good thing. I did read a wee bit of a book. I'm just looking for the book. Where did it go? It was a book from 1954 about party games. The party games then were, I didn't realise that they actually had hoovers, although maybe, but yeah, apparently these vacuum cleaners, a few of the games involve vacuum cleaners and balloons, and I definitely want to give them a go. They sound quite fun. One of them is saying, I mean, some of them are saying, oh, your guests will not rest until they have pitted every balloon you can find in the house until every other one and found an eventual champion. I mean, maybe people were a little bit easier to entertain back then because, you know, game design has advanced, but still a few of the games are things that I will be trying out at some point. I also watched a wee bit of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, had a takeaway. I had house special rice. It was good. There were lots of tastes, but it was generally disappointing. The rice and the vegetables and everything, it wasn't mixed together. It was like, boom, half the rice, boom, half of this pot is veg and meat. That's not a good way to present this stuff, in my opinion. I mean, normally with noodles, I would expect the noodles to be underneath. I was expecting the same with the rice, or maybe even to mix the rice in. I mean, to be fair, that's just the way it is. It's not like a bad thing. It's just that I'll stick with the soup next time. Oh, and that picture, in case you're wondering, today's picture is from the LDEC Twitter, and let me actually paste that link. LDEC Twitter. So if you go to LDEC Twitter, there is like either a question or a little game, and this game was, what teas can you think of that starts with T or L? Yeah, what flavors of teas? And, you know, fruit teas count as teas, so yeah, like if you can think of a fruit tea, but there are also some brands, and it's just another way of playing around with categorical and saying you can do whatever you want. So, at this point, if anyone's watching, feel free to ask me any questionably quick questions is the next section. You can ask in the section any of your questionably quick questions. They don't really have to be quick. That is just a little trick. You can make it very slow, but I'll try to answer as best I know. Questionably quick questions. Just in case someone pops in. And while we're waiting for that, let me talk about a brilliant thing. Brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant? Okay, a brilliant thing today is getting to... I'm going to say what I was talking about earlier, which is just taking a break from work. Just saying, now I am with people, And I think it's about being present in the moment. Being able to read something and say, I am reading this for the next few hours and not getting distracted. I find that challenging right now. But when I'm with people, it's like, yeah, I am present, I am with you. And when I'm playing a game, it's like, okay, if one person is taking a long time over their turn, well, I can gaze over at the other people, maybe even pass a few comments, ponder my own thing. Once I've pondered my own thing, once I know exactly what I'm doing, I'm going to maybe spark up a wee side conversation. But it's the people around the table that keeps it fascinating and keeps me engaged. And it's like that, being present, being focused, taking a break from other things, such as what you spend most of your time on. Truth be, in most of the previous jobs that I had, when I was working for supermarkets, when I was working for shops, when I was working for a crazy person who wanted me to type up stuff for them, I never risked taking my work home. I mean, sure, it would affect me emotionally if I had a bad day, but it's not like I would be pondering it and thinking, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and how can I do this better? Whereas, yeah, running your own business, it is a bit more challenging. In that there's not quite a clear separation. I mean, look at the fact that I'm going over to the gaming thing today. I mean, yeah, and I'm taking a couple of my own games, and someone replied to my message saying, oh, I've heard great things about these wee whimsical creatures. And yep, sure, I make games that I enjoy playing, so I will be happy to play it again. But that itself is part of the problem, that it's like, at what point do I just find myself constantly thinking about one thing, because there are other things. And for sure, you know, it's good that I'm going to be playing Root for a few hours. I will be very happy to play Root, and I've got other games that I will be playing. But yeah, it does intermingle, even when I go out to enjoy games. When I'm swimming, I might be thinking about stuff. When I'm in the shower, when I'm cycling around, I listen to podcasts and I think about design challenges. So, for a brief moment, being present with other people, that is a truly brilliant thing. And hello, Cooking Meeple. Thank you for your question. Do you like playing board games digitally? Okay, so I was actually answering some questions for Carla Kopp. One of them was about what I'd learned as a designer over the past year. And truth be told, one of the things that I've learned is how little I enjoy Tabletop Simulator and Tabletopia. I have enjoyed quite a bit of Abandon All Artichokes. I spent basically an entire day playing it. When I say an entire day, I mean like a good few hours, like a good 5 hours or something. Just chatting to people on Board Game Arena. I think that for me, Board Game Arena is a bit different, because with a real board game, there's the satisfaction of being able to look around and see the board, see all the pieces. It's like enveloping my whole view. I can see the person on the other side. I can go, haha, I'm blocking you, and then look at their face and you're like, oh, you blocked me, why did you block me? And then, you know, that's part of the game. It's not like I'm, what's the word? I'm not totally sociopathic. I'm not hating on other people just for the sake of it. But in a worker placements game, come on. In any interactive game, seeing the changing faces is part of it. And digitally, of course, you miss that. For me, Board Game Arena is my favourite website. I'm also up for boardspace.net. That is very nice for like more abstract games, which is what tends to be on there. And at least it takes care of the rules. So with that, with boardspace.net, Yucata, I believe What's a Jeu also does the same thing, and Board Game Arena, of course. Then you know that you've gotten everything correct. It's a really good way to learn the game. And you can have a little bit of a chat. You can have a video call on the side or a voice call on the side if you're playing with people that you know, which is fantastic. And of course, if you're a person like me who just likes exploring the mechanisms of games, then it's fantastic, and I would love to, go through all the games on Board Game Arena and just be like, yeah, this is what I think of them, and learn about them and build up my awareness. And yes, I agree with you, Cooking Meeple. And by the way, sorry I didn't say proper thanks for joining in, but yes, Board Game Arena 100% is awesome. Cooking Meeple says, I'm not the biggest fan of Tabletopia or Tabletop Simulator. They are a good place to play if there's no other choice though. I would agree, but over lockdown, what I found personally is that there is always another choice. There's always the choice of playing on video chats like this. I mean, right now, if I sent you a link, you could join in and jump in, and we could play together. And there are a few LDEC games that I designed specially just because as a reaction to COVID. Because, let me get rid of this. As a reaction to COVID, because I started doing essentially flip and writes with the LDEC cards, where you start off with a blank sheet of paper and you don't need to print anything. Because I knew at least one of the friends who was coming in didn't have a printer. So it was like, hey, James, you're able to jump in, and hey, Sally, hey, Molly, hey, Ree, whatever, you can jump in and play along, and people from chat can play along as well. All you need is a pen and paper. And yes, that greatly limits what you play. But I would rather play the same game again, or make the game and stick to the games that can be played via video chat than go back to Tabletop Simulator or Tabletopia. If I go back to Tabletop Simulator or Tabletopia, it will be for something very special. Anyway, I hope that's answered the question. And yeah, let me know what you've been up to recently. But for now, that is almost the end of the show. But yeah, I wanted to talk a wee bit more about the way that I see game design and game creation as a trifecta. Okay, so I don't have a banner for this main topic. Probably should have. Yeah, let me write up a banner. Main topic, the 3 parts of game creation. Okay, there we go. Oops, it meant to have it. Okay, so and too few board games, too much work lately, says Cooking Meeple. Yeah, I get that. I mean, even even as someone whose life and livelihood is about board games, it doesn't mean that I get to play all the board games I want. I've got a bunch of board games there and a bunch of board games here. I mean, here's Ice Flow, and I've not played this yet. I mean, it's just lying here, and there's another stack of, about 70 games that I've not even played. I've got like more unplayed games than most people have board games, and that is quite embarrassing. But yeah, I am. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about game creation. So when people think about game creation, they might think about design, development, and art. And then you've got rules writing, like the writing of the rules and the graphic design, and all of that is just 1/3 of the work of making a game, I've come to realize. So yeah, you can design a great game, you can work on the rules, make it better, you can write excellent rules and have beautiful illustrations and graphic design, but that is not enough. Now comes the second part, and these are not actually sequential. I should note that all of this should be considered at the one time. So the second part, the actual second part, is the logistics and production, and yeah. So how do you make this game? Getting the files ready, working out the CE mark that you've got to have, the barcode, having negotiations for the prices. I mean, that's all part of logistics. How do you get it to the different countries? How do you post it? And now, part of that logistics, one thing that I would like to start thinking is, how do we offset the carbon? Can I make this game carbon neutral? Which is something that I'll be talking to Ree and Laurie about on Tuesday, at this time on, Tuesday morning UK time. And that whole part is just the second part of the production. And all that, what people quite often don't understand, that all of that, the logistics, the negotiations, the creation of the game, the actual production of the game and sending it out, that is at least as much work, in my opinion, as the design and development and art and illustration. Sure, it's the visuals and the words and the rules that are the sexy bit that everyone's aware of, but what cardboard do you use? Which factory do you use? Which, that is such a big part of it. And there's a lot of work involved in that second part. And then the third part, right? The third part is marketing. So marketing, you've got to tell people that it exists. And with the second part, logistics, you've already worked out how to get it into shops, into distribution, because that's an important part of making it so that people can buy it. But the third part is as important, if not more. That you tell people about it, that you've got to make people aware of it, that you've got to make people aware that you exist, that you are making games and that are good and are worth buying, and tell people about what you're doing. Like, next year, I'm going to announce it right now. I haven't announced it before, but exclusive news. The year 2022 is going to be the 5th anniversary of the L deck. And to celebrate, I am donating £1 from literally every L deck sold to aid in literacy. And, that's a good thing, but I've done that once before. I've given away games at UK Games Expo, that's not like a charitable thing, but that's a promotional thing, but I didn't then tell people about it. And you've got to tell people about these things, like, sure, I mean, I like to think that I do these things because they are my personal values, because they fill me with satisfaction, and I feel like I'm a better human for caring about the environment rather than just using plastics thoughtlessly and doing this and that and making fancy things. So it's important to tell people these are your values so that you can explain things like that. What you post on social media, I mean, let's think about, frankly, there are companies who have aligned themselves with bad actors, and you need to at some point make a stance and say, look, trans rights are human rights, something like that, just say, we believe that trans women deserve to be treated as women and trans men deserve to be treated as men. And just, you need to, in this day and age where there's a lot of bad actors, it's important to say, yeah, we are a safe place. And it's not like the world's getting worse. Actually, the world's getting a lot better. Because really, let's think about it. From 100 years ago, like, homosexuality was illegal. I mean, we have progressed so much. Someone who says, oh, we're going backwards, I mean, yeah, sure, there might be little dips, but in terms of personal freedoms are continuing to improve, I believe. And when I say that homosexuality used to be illegal, let's not forget the fact, sorry, sad stuff, that it's still an issue in some places around Russia and Poland. And there's a lot of misogynistic laws about abortion and whatnot. But I believe that we are progressing in a positive manner compared to 100 years ago. But yeah, anyway, the point is that in this day and age, for the totality of a game, it's not enough to just make the game. You need to think about the production, what actually goes into the game, and about the marketing and telling people about it. And ideally, all of it should be one unified whole. Like, when you start to think about the design, you should be thinking, okay, is there an audience for this? Like, part of that, I could say to people, hey, which of these games would you like me to work on next? But part of that, because I am an independent person, has to be, especially with the Bezzy budget bags, just what excites me. But then the marketing has to be telling people this is what it is. The box cover, the illustration, the graphic design, the marketing, it has to be a cohesive whole. The production, when you think about the costs involved, your design should be saying, is this game justifying the cost? And based on the cost, you might want to market it differently. I mean, people talk about the cost per click when they're marketing things on Facebook or whatever. And let's imagine you've got a £40 game, right? Okay? So a £40 game, maybe you're making on Kickstarter, maybe you're making £15 profit per game. In which case, theoretically, if you spend £7 to market that, even if you if you're making £15 profits game, then even if you spend £14 to market it, then it's definitely worth it. But if you're making a £5 game and you're making, let's say, £2 profit per game, then you can't afford that sort of stuff. But yeah, anyways, that's my ramble over. And I hope that makes sense. I hope that's been of some use to someone. Anyway, as I said at the start, this is the Bezzy Beats and briefer Blether, so with that in mind, I am going to start wrapping up. But first, let me ask. Over to you, what are you up to? You can share, but only if you want to. So yes, if you want to, this is a time when you can say something that you want to get done, or something that you are doing which you hope will be fun. You can talk really about anything. Maybe you've had a good time going out and singing. Maybe there's a board game that you've played recently or that you're about to play. Maybe there's a hope that you've got for today. Maybe it's fun and frivolous or something super serious. Maybe it's something that fills you with wonder. Or maybe it's something that you hope won't steal your thunder. Anyway, anything you want to share, go ahead, now's your time. I'm going out to the Salisbury. I'm taking Wavelength. Just One. And Kawaii. I'm looking forward to playing Root. I'm also taking Imagician. Imagician? Let's call it Imagician, because it's imagination and magician. And let me just point out once more, this is... Whoops, sorry. It's right here. This is a game I got, I did get this for free as a review copy, and it's honestly one of the most delightful, pleasant games I've played this year. It's in my top 3 new to me games this year. My top 3 new to me games this year are Root, Imagician, which is basically connect the dots gamified. So you draw the pens around a card, shows little figurines, you need to find them on the board, and you've got the slow satisfaction of, oh, where's that picture? Oh, there it is. Let me draw my line and connect it. And then eventually you work out what it is, and then there's a greater satisfaction. So it's just a bundle of joy and satisfaction. Hooray for Imagician! Again, free copy that I got off Hachette UK. Also, I am biased about Hachette UK because they're connected. They are owned by the same company that published Yogi. The second game, anyways, so right, the other new to me games that are my top 3 of the year are Root and the Prototype, made by LA Dix. But I'm just excited to go out to the pub for a number of hours and play games. And the pub serves decent food. It's not the cheapest thing, but I'm incredibly privileged. I mean, Yogi sold more copies in the past 6 months than most games sell ever. And so I can afford to go out to the pub and buy food and buy a couple of drinks. And so, yeah, I am just still every day I'm thankful that people continue enjoying my games, especially Yogi, because that's the one that's actually earning me money. But that's what I want to share. I'm just looking forward to gaming. And if anyone else wants to say anything, then please feel free. Otherwise, I will say that we talked about categorical and teas. We talked about going out and playing games. We talked about how design, illustration, and rules writing is just 1/3 of what the holistic whole of game creation. The other 2/3 being firstly the logistics and fulfillment and production, and then finally the marketing. And the marketing can inform the design. The production can inform the design. The design informs the production. The production informs the marketing. And it should be a holistic whole. I also talked briefly about, thanks to Cooking Meatballs' question, about Board Game Arena and boardspace.net and my how Tabletop Simulator, Tabletopia for me just take a little bit longer. Conversely, Board Game Arena, if anything, can actually take a wee bit shorter than the actual game, which is amazing. Anyway, so that is me. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to check me out, then I'm stuffbybez.com, stuffbybez.bigcards.com, twitter.com/stuffbez, where I'm most active on Twitter. Instagram.com/stuffbybez, where I'm trying to start posting more pictures like a few times a week. Twitch.tv/stuffbybez, I stream every day at 10 a.m. UK time. YouTube, you can go for my old episodes. And if you want to join Discord, then please join stuffbybez.com/Discord. That will redirect you. If you want to find out my future streams, then go to this link, and I actually need to edit stuff. But tomorrow I am going to be meeting Luke Laurie. Oh no, is it? No, it's not Luke Laurie. It is Laurie Blake, sorry. So Laurie Blake is one of the people behind Earth Rising, which is on Kickstarter just now, and I'm excited to get to know them. So we will be chatting about earliest memories, what brought them to gaming, motivations, future plans, that sort of thing. Just half an hour or so of getting to know each other. And then on Tuesday is going to be a conversation that I'm super excited about with Laurie Blake and also Ree, who both worked on Earth Rising. We're going to be talking about making things carbon neutral or even carbon positive. And that is something that I'm very excited about. If that sounds good to you, then please share, spread the word. I want to say thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, Cooking Meeple, for your question earlier. Thank you, all the lurkers. Like, I can see that there's a couple of people watching. Maybe they're robots, I don't know. But, you know, it gives me some satisfaction. And thank you to all the people that were in touch. Thank you to people who messaged me. Thank you to, like, Laurie and Ree for coming on the show tomorrow and Tuesday. And there is only one thing left to say. For now, I'm just going to say, bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye. goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.